Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Hello, how are you? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Learn French with Anubhav. If you have already subscribed to my channel, press the bell icon to get the latest updates. In today's class, we are going to discuss some indicators for French tenses which are there in the syllabus for CBSE Class 10 French Exam 2023-24. And all my other revision videos are there in the playlist titled CBSE Class 10 French Revision Videos. The link is there in the description box below. Okay, so in this video, we are not discussing the formation of these tenses. We are not discussing the application of these tenses in detail. And we are not even discussing the conjugation of the verbs here, right? We are simply discussing the indicators that are going to help you out in identifying the correct tense in your Mettez au temps convenable or conjuguer les verbes entre parenthèses question, which will be there in your exam, right? It's a compulsory question. 7 parts are there, 5 parts are to be attempted, right? Also, to be noted that these are the indicators which are most commonly found in class 10th curriculum, right? These are not the only indicators that I'll be discussing here. One small disclaimer. So let's start discussing about each of these tenses. First, we have futur proche. Now, futur proche is your near future, something that is about to happen. Now, something that is about to happen, of course, in your answer, in your question, there has to be something, some expression to indicate that, okay, this thing is about to happen. Dans un moment, in a moment, or dans quelques moments, in some moments, dans dash minute, dans un minute, dans une minute, dans 2 minutes, dans 5 minutes, dans 10 minutes, right? Dans une heure, probably. So something which is about to happen, such expressions, if they are present, you are using your futur proche, right? Futur proche, I didn't really want to discuss the formation, but let me just mention it. Futur proche formation, subject plus alias present tense conjugation plus the infinitive of the verb. Okay, because I feel that if I don't discuss the formation, that would be a bit incomplete, right? Anyways, now we have futur sample. Now, futur sample, as the name suggests, it's the equivalent of simple future tense in English, right? Now, futur sample, again, indicators could be like demain, tomorrow, or l'année prochaine, le mois prochain, la semaine prochaine, like the next week, the next month, the next year, après 2 mois, après 3 mois, après un mois, after a month, after 2 months, after 3 months, after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks. Any action which is not as recent, as close as futur proche. Any action in future which is not as close as futur proche, you are using your futur sample. Of course, futur continuous and futur sample is a combination that we'll be discussing ahead. That is one more application where we can find futur sample, but otherwise, as of now, just remember that futur sample is not as close as futur proche. And the second one we know already, if you have C plus present and the next blank is having a subject, then you are using futur sample. We are already aware of that, right? This could be other way around as well. In your question, you can have C and futur sample and you have to conjugate in present tense in the answer. So you need to take care of that because these C clauses exist in both ways, in this way also and vice versa as well, right? And hence in the exam, both ways can be asked. Then we have pronominal verb. Pronominal verb has been mentioned as a part of this thing, tenses only. So pronominal verb, okay, futur sample conjugation, what is it? Subject plus the stem for futur sample plus the futur sample endings, right? AI, AS, A, ONS, EZ, ONT. These are your futur sample endings. Now, each of the category of verbs are having a separate formation of their stem in futur sample. So you need to go to my photo sample explanation video, right? The link is there in the description. I can't discuss everything in detail in this one. Pronominal verb. Pronominal verb, as the name suggests, they have a pronoun involved, right? A reflexive pronoun. Pronoun reflexi is what we call. Je, for je it's me, for tu it's ta, for nous is nous, for vous it's vous, for il, elle plural, il, elle singular, it's sa. Take care of when you are getting a pronominal verb in imperative, then te becomes toi, right? Nous becomes nous only, vous becomes vous only, and in imperative, we all know that in affirmative imperative, the pronoun comes after the verb. So like if the answer has to be like something like se laver is the verb, and the conjugation is like a te lave, right? Te lave, and you need to do it in imperative, so it will be lave toi, lavo nous, lave vous, right? Like that. So pronominal verb basic formation is what? Subject plus pronoun reflexi plus the conjugation if it's a tense where auxiliary verb is not involved. If auxiliary verb is involved, then subject plus na plus pronoun reflexi plus pa plus the past participle followed by the subject verb agreement. Subject verb agreement has to be there in case of a pronominal verb because pronominal verbs are having être as the auxiliary verb, and we all know when être is the auxiliary verb, we have to do the subject verb agreement. We are aware of that. And if okay, this is, I have mentioned the negation case as well. Like if negation is not there and ne pas removed. Oh wait, I missed one thing. No, this is the negation of this only. Wait, let me just mention negation here. Right, the conjugation of the verb, and this is without auxiliary verb. If there is a tense without auxiliary verb, with auxiliary verb subject, if negation then na, then pronoun reflexi, then you have the auxiliary verb conjugated. Okay, I missed out on this one when I was saying about it. So subject plus na plus pronoun reflexi plus auxiliary verb plus pa plus your past participle followed by subject verb agreement. This is correct now. Also, there are some negative expressions where the expression comes after the past participle. For example, nulle part. Nulle part comes after, right? So you need to take care of that. Well, I don't think that for the class 10 curriculum, you're like so much complexity is going to be there. Like in depth, I don't think it's going to be in so much depth, but it's better to be aware of these concepts, right? Okay, so time expressions we have discussed for photo sample. Pronominal verb, it's fine. Pronominal verb is just a category of verb, right? So if you have like sir before the verb given in the bracket, it's a pronominal verb. It's clear, and it will be treated like a normal verb only with an added pronoun. And of course, pronominal verb you can get in any of the tenses. Okay, don't think that okay, if it's pronominal verb only present tense will be coming. No, it's not like that. You can get pronominal verb for any of the tenses. Let me just check if the recording is going on fine or not. Yes, it's going on fine. Is there a glare of light on the board? Yes, there is. Something that can be done probably. Or I can just avoid writing over there. Yeah, that will also work. Anyways, pronominal verb we have discussed. After pronominal verb, we have passé composé. Okay, passé composé corresponding to the past tense that we have in English. Nice. So passé composé, we all know the formation subject plus auxiliary verb present tense conjugation plus past participle followed by subject verb agreement if applicable. Na comes before the auxiliary verb and pa comes after the auxiliary verb. And of course, for negative expression, there are certain negative expressions where the expression comes after the past participle. So for that, you need to revise your negation. Okay. So, and yeah, like if you have an expression like deja already, then deja will come between the auxiliary verb and the past participle. Okay. So passé composé, we have discussed the formation. Passé composé is what? One time event in the past. One time event or action in the past. Now it's like the past counterpart of future sample. For future sample, we discuss indicators like what? Demain, l'année prochaine, la semaine prochaine, le mois prochain. For passé composé, it can be hier, yesterday, or any other time expression like la semaine dernière, l'année dernière, quelques mois dernière, some months back, like that. Okay. And there's one more occurrence of passé composé, one or two more occurrences of passé composé that you can get, which we'll be discussing along with other tenses, okay, which we'll be discussing shortly. Don't worry about it, in the same video itself. So we have just discussed as of now this much only for passé composé, right? Passé composé we have discussed. See, single time event in the past is your passé composé. Prolonged action or continuous action in the past is your imparfait. Now we have imperative. Imperative. Conjugated with only tu, nu, vous. Interestingly, the subject is not there in the imperative conjugation. So, indicator is what? Blank is there, there's no subject, and if you're lucky enough, you can get an exclamation mark. When there's an exclamation mark, it has to be imperative only. Sometimes imperative statement, like in the question, they might skip on putting the exclamation mark, but ideally there has to be an exclamation. And because imperative is like giving an order, giving an advice, right? And you have to put exclamation mark over there. So imperative, okay, there's a blank, no subject, exclamation. Advice, order, right? And to be noted that this clause is applicable here as well. How? C plus present is imperative when subject is not there. Okay, when C plus present is there but subject is not there in the before the second blank, then it's your imperative. Okay, if there's the subject, then future sample. If no subject, imperative. And of course, as I said, in this case you can get the vice versa scenario as well. C plus imperative is equal to present, and then you need to conjugate in present tense. Okay, so prepare C clauses in both ways. Imparfait. And again, in imperative, conjugation is very easy. For year ending verbs, we drop the S in to conjugation, and there are certain more verbs where we are dropping the S. Then there are 5 exceptions of imperative. So again, for that, please watch my imperative in French video. Okay, and of course, imperative case I have discussed with pronominal verbs and other pronouns as well. In affirmative imperative, if there's a pronoun involved, that will come after the verb. Negative imperative, the pronoun will come as usual before the verb. Imparfait, imperfect tense, past continuous tense. There are many ways you can call this tense, right? So imparfait is your past continuous, prolonged action in the past, continuous action in the past. Indicators, pendant mon enfance, during my childhood, or autrefois, those days, or once upon a time, or talking about past temps favoris, favorite pastimes, talking about something that you used to do regularly, tous les jours, like pendant mon enfance, je dash, I did that, this every day, tous les jours, something like that. Or what else? Basically, that's pretty much it. The kind of indicators you can get for imparfait, right? Another indicator is what? For imparfait, it's your C clause. C plus imparfait is present conditionnel. Present conditionnel, right? So this case is of course there. Fine. That's pretty much it for imparfait. I repeat, prolonged action in the past. Now we have an interesting tense over here to be discussed. That's PQP. plus que parfait. Plus parfait, plus que parfait. There are many ways to call it. Let me just change the marker because it's barely visible. Just a minute. Hopefully this will work. Plus que parfait, two actions in the past. The action which is preceding the other one, we are using plus que parfait for that. The preceding action in the past. Formation, subject plus imparfait, conjugation of the auxiliary verb followed by the past participle followed by subject verb agreement if applicable. Now plus que parfait indicator, they are okay. First indicator is the C clause number 3. C plus que parfait is passé conditionnel. Now past conditional is not in syllabus, I am aware of that, but you can get a PQP question here. For example, C plus passé conditionnel is there and you have to do the plus que parfait in the answer. Passé conditionnel, how to identify? Subject plus present conditional conjugation of the auxiliary verb plus the past participle. Okay, and plus que parfait, we have auxiliary verb in imparfait and the past participle. Right. Another indicator that I have discussed a lot of times in the comments as well. Con, loska, deka, ositoka. CBSE curriculum, only these four we have, CBSE classroom curriculum, and if they are present with either passé composé or imparfait, then you are going for plus que parfait. Okay, now what if you have con plus que parfait and then the other one is the blank? Then in that case you need to decide if it's a one-time action, you are going for passé composé. If it's a continuous action, it's imparfait. There are certain cases where you may find plus que parfait not getting used at all. For example, con plus passé composé sometimes can be resulting to imparfait as well. Now, when this sort of thing happens, see, plus que parfait, the usage is what? Using it for one action preceding another. When there's no scenario of preceding an action, both of them took place simultaneously, such that one is a one-time event and other one is a continuous event. So when the other one is a continuous event, we are going to use imparfait for that. So you need to see that, okay, whether the other event is taking place before the previous event or not, because if it's taking before, then it's plus que parfait. If it's taking continuously at the same time, then it's imparfait. Right, and if it's C plus imparfait or passé composé, and of course the case that I have mentioned, that if there's that event is preceding the other one, then you are going for plus que parfait. Right. C clause also have discussed this passé composé. Yeah, this passé composé and imparfait scenario also I have discussed just now, right? So this scenario can also happen. It's just that you need to judge then that okay, whether the other event can take place before or it's taking place simultaneously, right? Or like you may prepare like, okay, if the event is not yet over, because imparfait's application, one application is this as well, that it's used for the past action which is not yet completed, not completed yet, right? So for that also, for that very reason we are calling it imperfect tense as well. So there are numerous uses of imparfait in French, right? Okay, we have discussed this much, we have discussed, okay, futur antérieur. Now that's the future counterpart of plus que parfait. These four expressions along with futur sample. Okay, for futur antérieur, these four expressions, presence of any of these four expressions plus futur sample is resulting in futur antérieur. Now I reckon this thing that somewhere I saw futur proche plus futur antérieur and then this as well, but again need not to go in that much depth. Futur antérieur is Any of these expressions plus futur sample, you have it, go for futur anterior. There's no confusion between imparfait or pluscuparfait the way it's happening here, right? Plus there are 7 parts, right? You have to do best 5. Like you have to do those 5 for which you are most confident, right? So depends on you, depends on your attempt, depends on your concept clarity, right? Depends on your comprehension. Anyways, futur anterior discussed. Formation, auxiliary verb in futur sample plus the past participle. No and pa, it's easy, the placement, I'm not discussing it again. And futur anterior is used for the future action preceding another future action. Okay. Futur anterior discussed. Present conditional. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about present conditional. Present conditional is used for what? To add politeness, right? So when you have the subject and when you have a blank, after that you have s'il vous plaît or s'il te plaît. Please. Now if you are saying please, it means that you are trying to be polite, and when you are trying to be polite, you are using présent conditionnel. Do we know that subject has to be there? Because if there's no subject, then it's an indicator of imperative, right? So if there's a subject, blank, present conditional. Okay, what sort of scenarios can come? Cafe scenario, restaurant, shop scenario. I would like to order this. I would like to buy this, like that. Je voudrais acheter, je voudrais anything, I mean. Then what it could be. Another application is, of course, the C clause. C plus imparfait is present conditional, right? That thing is, of course, always there. And s'il vous plaît, s'il te plaît, subject, blank, indicator of present conditionnel. Politeness, any expression indicating politeness, present conditional, will be using present conditional. Now coming to the tenses that might come in the exam and aren't actually mentioned in the CBSE syllabus. Okay. So, okay, subjunctive is there in the syllabus, but subjunctive is a separate question altogether. However, we never know if subjunctive becomes a part of just a single question may come in Mettez, temps convenable. Little unlikely, but who knows. I hope that portion is visible because there's this glare today reflecting upon the board. Anyways, so subjunctive I'm discussing first, then I'm discussing the remaining tenses. Subjunctive, you know it already, it's the equivalent of English subjunctive, right? Used for orders, expressing emotions, necessitating something, right? Expressions like je veux que, j'espère que, je crois que, I believe that, I want that, or I hope that, or il faut que, it is a must that, il est nécessaire que, il est obligatoire que. There are many more expressions, right? Jusqu'à ce que, many more expressions. So for subjunctive, these are the indicators. Well, subjunctive is a separate question altogether. Formation of subjunctive, je, tu, il, elle, and il plural. Conjugation, taking the conjugation how? Take the present tense third person plural conjugation, drop the ent at the ending e, es, e, ent. For nous and vous, you are taking directly from imparfait. This scenario varies for certain exceptions, so do watch my exceptions in subjunctive video to prepare well for subjunctive question. Now coming to the remaining tenses that might come. Infinitive passe, interestingly, don't know why, has appeared multiple times in your sample paper and the actual exam as well. Infinitive passe. Wait, I messed up with the spelling. Infinitive passe. Infinitive passe, past infinitive, indicator, après or avant, right? Avant, blank. And it's a past event, right? There's no subject. Okay. Like après avoir fini, after having finished, in that way. Just an example. So that's the formation, infinitive plus past participle. There's no subject involved in affinitive past, and that's the indicator of it. Après or avant plus no subject plus the blank and then the rest of the sentence. This is the indicator for affinitive passive. Right. What about affinitive? Simply the affinitive. Now there are three cases where only the directly you need to write just the affinitive. If après avoir is there plus the plus no subject. Après the, then it has to be affinitive. Okay. Then another case could be reported speech of imperative. Reported speech of imperative is what? The plus infinitive, right? So you can get a question in this way as well in Mettez, temps convenable, and then it could be if it's any tense where the first verb is conjugated and two verbs are simultaneously there, then the second verb is bound to be in infinitive, right? Usually in present tense is what you are getting the questions for. First verb is conjugated in present tense. This one is a blank, but it can appear in other tenses as well. It's just that we need to make sure like we are preparing in accordance with the CBSE curriculum and the scope of the questions that are being asked, right? Okay, past infinitive done, infinitive done. Second last passé récent, past counterpart of futur proche. Passé récent, something that just happened. Il y a is the major indicator. Il y a quelques moments. It's been some moments. Il y a quelques minutes. It's been some minutes. No, what am I saying? Quelques moments, some moments, some minutes, etc., etc., etc. Il y a. Indicator for passé récent. Recent past, something that has just happened. If none of these indicators are there, of course, C clause is there. And apart from that, if none of these indicators are there, then you are going for your present tense. Hence, make sure that if you have decided to go for present tense in any of the conjugations, make sure that there's no other indicator for any of the other tenses. If C plus futur proche or imperative is there, then of course it's easier for you. But otherwise, you need to take care of this. I hope this video is of some usage for the exam preparation. With this, let's put a halt here. C'est tout pour aujourd'hui. That's all for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel Learn with Anubhav. And if you have any doubt or suggestion, you may write that in the comment section below. You may also like my Facebook page by the same name, Learn with Anubhav. See you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Au revoir. N'oubliez pas que langue française de l'amour. Just a minute. Passé récent formation. Subject plus venir, present tense conjugation plus the plus infinitive. Remaining conjugations, I think I have just discussed the formations, right? Perfect. Yeah. See you in the next video.